pjnet.tv, 9 p.m. on the East Coast. We have Jackie getting ready. We are recording. We are streaming live. We are switching to Studio 8 in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Welcome to pjnet.tv. What an exciting day it's been. I have some good news, I think, later on. But until then, we'll suffice with, wow! Whoa! Did you see that? Did you see that? How awesome can it be? All right. Folks, we have a first-time guest with us here today. And I'm kind of stalling because, we're going to get this together. And bear with me, but Jackie Anders is actually a well-published author of many books. She's going to tell you all about her books here in just a minute. But there's more to Jackie than the books, okay? Don't you love that? That's her movie trailer, or her book trailer. If you can't buy the book, go watch the trailer. It's pretty good, too. Well, Jackie, here we are. Good to see you here at the PJNet Eagle's Nest, and I see that you have got your hair done and all that stuff, so I'm glad we made it. You're out spending some time with the kids and the moms, and you're just living the dream, right?
I sort of am. This was the first time we got to see the grandparents, or the kids got to see the grandparents. So, because of the Corona lockdown, so it's been pretty exciting. We've spent 2 days, and today we got to swim. So I'm running around. I've got one kid in the bathroom getting a bath, and I actually got my hair done. I'm ready.
Okay. Jackie, you are more than an author. You're a friend of Dale Didway. Why?
Yes. I met Dale through Twitter, and he's a great support system. He's been really great on giving me advice, retweeting me, liking, and giving me ideas. So when you're looking for a good support system, that's the type of people that you want. Real positive, uplifting people that will be there for you and support you throughout the whole entire process. And that's how I met him. So after, we did some retweets and some likes, we went to messaging and started also talking about events and conferences, workshops, things that we can meet at or go to. He gave me some ideas for that as well. So it's been really great. Yeah, that's how it happens. It's all online now, and that's the amazing thing about the internet. Just think, when we were in college, the internet, it was all just coming out, and now here we are. We rely on it so much. And I just showed my age.
What I was going to say, Jackie, when I was in college, a handheld calculator was a status symbol. Okay, slide rules were the norm. Abacus had just been invented not too long before that. But I did go to college, and I have been fascinated. I've spoken with several authors, and they have meant so much to me. But I struggle with the concept of fiction because so many of the authors are usually Christian authors. And I struggle with the idea, why are we telling fiction when we need to be telling facts? Do you ever hear that criticism in your work?
Oh, actually, I worked as a teacher at a charter school many years back. And some of the students that I worked with, their parents were doctors. And they were really against fiction-based books. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And as an ELA teacher, English Language Arts, I was very adamant about introducing my 5th grade students to a world of imagination. And my reasoning for that was, it's okay, everything that's in black and white as doctors, they're it needs to be a certain way. I understand that. But the people that invent the devices or the immunizations that we're so desperately needing right now for Corona, those are the people that have imaginations, that think outside the box. So I really pressed on those parents the idea of give them that outlet to look into things other than nonfiction, historical facts. I understand, and I have that in my book. I do a lot of historical references in my books, but the imagination is important. If you can't think outside the box, how can you invent? If you can't go outside and use your hands and build things and just see what comes out of it, how do you engineer these new technologies that we so desperately need? And I'm all for us, as the human race, advancing in science and technology. So yeah, I think it starts with the imagination in fiction.
That's a very interesting answer. That is not the usual answer that I get. I have asked that question before, but you've got me thinking, and I appreciate that because I am a scientist, a computer programmer. So facts and everything is very real, but you're right. The product that what you are seeing right now, all of this first was imagined. And from the imagination, it was made real. Gee, you're gonna persuade me into believing some of this crap. You're gonna.
Well, then I did my job as a teacher. There you go.
Well, what you tee it up so great. You are a teacher. You love children or young adults. Your literature that we will get into momentarily is aimed at those. You have a passion, you have a love for. Where did that come from? Is that personal or just a career thing?
Well, when I started out, I got my bachelor's degree in business and accounting.
Where'd you get that from, Jackie? Where'd you get
Lamar University in Beaumont, and actually that's where I'm at right now with my parents. I'm in Beaumont, Beaumont, Texas, which is southeast Texas.
Okay.
And so yeah, I got my bachelor's degree in business management and accounting. So I went into the corporate world in Houston, and I thought I was going to be a CEO by 30. This typical driven, wanting to excel, no matter what. And then I had babies, and it all changed. So I had a huge shift in my personality whenever I had my kids. And what happened next was I followed them into the education system, because when they went into school, I guess I was a helicopter mom. I was thinking, I got to be there. So I'm going to be a room mom. And then I subbed. And then I went back to school to get my teaching certificate, and I became a teacher because I loved being around the kids. I loved being with them and inspiring them and giving them hope, and especially the kiddos that I work with now. It was very important to me. So it was a huge shift in my personality. So people that say that you don't change are so wrong. There are moments in your life where God calls you to step up and do something that you never imagined you'd do. Because I always thought I would be some big business person. And now, here I am, an educator, and enjoying it and loving it. And hopefully I'm changing lives. And it seems like I am, because they really attached to me, and I'm making a huge difference in a lot of kiddos' lives. And now with the books, I'm finding that from reviews that I'm inspiring a lot of people there too. So kids, I know they always say the kids are our future, but it is true. I mean, that's it in a nutshell. We have to give them the foundation of love, support, knowing that people do care about you, or they will not do well as they become adults. I think it's so important. And I'm really in a profession where I can make that difference, not just as an educator, but writing my books that these kiddos are reading.
You've referred to yourself twice as an educator. Are you a teacher, or tell us more about your day job?
Yeah. So I've taught in the classroom for over 8 years, and I did go back and get my master's degree from Texas A&M. But I have not moved into principal positions yet, because right now I am loving my job as a behavioral specialist. And what a behavioral specialist does is we work with children that are ADHD. Typical impairments that we're seeing a lot of are ADHD, oppositional defiance. Those are kids that have a lot of anger, and it's hard for them to listen to adults. You know, they don't like being told what to do. But that
They should
also
go in the Marine Corps.
Everyone's got to understand that kids are going through a lot nowadays. They're getting hit in many different areas, from the media, social accounts that they're on, but also a lot of parents, or both parents, are working, and majority of these kids that I work with come from single parent families.
Mm-hmm.
So they're very angry because they're just caught in the mix. And you also, there are cases where there's drug abuse at the home. It's disheartening, the stories that you hear, and it takes a team of people that I work with to help me through it, because sometimes we cry, when we bring the kids back to the classroom. It's heart-wrenching, the reality of what's really going on in our kids' homes all across America, for sure. And so what I do as a behavioral specialist is, when they're upset or they're having trouble with, let's say, another student took something from them and didn't really mean to, there are so many different triggers for these students. But if they do get upset, I'm the one that usually goes in and I talk them, I pull them out and I talk to them, see what's going on, see how I can help them get back into the classroom. Usually it's a cool down. We walk around the track, we go play basketball, something that gets their mindset right again, because in that moment, they can't come out of it without a break. They have to get out of those four walls sometimes. And that's what I do. I work with them in that sense. And I also, on the other side of that, I'm proactive in that I work with the counselors, and we actually get together a team. And the counselors and I and the assistant principal, we put together goals that we want these kiddos to achieve. And when they achieve them, they get rewards. Like I coach them in soccer, and we play Legos, or Beyblades is the new thing. I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's a big thing. They come into my office and we play Beyblades. I can't even say it. Beyblades. And it's a way to get them out of that atmosphere, to show them that we do care. And I get to talk to them on a different level at that point. I compete with them. We'll start, I don't know if you're familiar with Beyblades, but you have to do the little zip thing, and then it pops out, and whoever rolls the longest wins. And it's just fun, because you see them smile. You see them really excited about what's going on at school. And that's the goal. As a behavioral specialist, that's our goal. And counselors, we want kids to be excited about school, because whatever's going on at home, we don't want them to bring it to school. We want them to know that when they come to school, that they're loved, they're cared for, we care about their future. And that's our end goal, is making sure that they know that no matter whatever's going on at home and what they're seeing on social media and on the news, that doesn't have to be your reality. So that's basically what we do. And when we do that, if we do it effectively, which we've pretty much done pretty good, they do well in class. They start to excel with their grades and their social interactions. So yeah, that's what I do.
From the chat room, and I was going to ask the same thing. You used two titles earlier, and one you said behavioral something, and what were those two?
Yes, behavioral specialist is the title of what I do.
Okay.
And and that's basically where I work with the kids and try to help them through their situations to calm down. I do get kids that are really, really upset, crying, very angry. You'll be surprised at the anger in our youth if you've not worked in a public school.
You called it oppositional anger, I believe.
Oppositional defiance.
Oppositional defiance. Okay.
Yes, so we do.
Well, obviously things have changed, and I'm gonna make a point here, so indulge me. When I was growing up, the what was that title again?
Oppositional defiance disorder.
Yeah. That was remedied with a good ass whooping. Uh, and you knew it didn't have to be you. If somebody else got in trouble, you saw what happened to them. You didn't want that to happen to you. Obviously, things have changed. Can you tell me why?
Why? Oh, that's a great question. Well, you don't want to break their spirit, and I think that is
Or do you?
how that is how the public education system views it, is that there should be other ways to remedy their defiance.
Yeah, we don't want
And
everybody
that's why
turning out
we
like
work.
my generation. That's for damn sure. Yeah. Um,
I can't speak to that. but but I will tell you, it's hard. It's a hard road to reform these kiddos. But when you do it out of love and you build a relationship with these kids, miracles really do happen without the spank. Of course, I spank my own kids. You know, I was the one that carried a belt in my purse. There's no doubt. Seriously, I got a call from the school. I was up there. I pulled him in the bathroom and he got a spanking. But you know, with the way everything is now, there are certain things that we can and cannot do. And there's a lot of research behind why we should take it from a different stance, you know, go about it a different way. And I will tell you, it's effective. It really is. And when you get a kiddo that was climbing desk and cussing you out at one moment, and then a month later, he is coming in and saying, "Oh, Miss Anders, you're busy. Oh, I understand. Hey, you tell me what you want me to do. You want me to take out your trash? What, you built that relationship, and that is what it's all about." And I will, as most educators will tell you, it's all about the relationships, and they're kids. So if you don't build those relationships when they're young, what do you have later? Because even though I spank my own kids, you know, as a parent, these kiddos may not be getting spanked at home.
Right.
Huh?
Or, you know, I tell you what we'll do, Jackie. I am fascinated by this, and I really have a great deal of respect for what you're doing. But we need to come on. We need to do this again and devote an entire segment to it, because we have 3 minutes left and you have 3 books. So guess what I'm going to propose we talk about for the next 1 minute? How about Field of Mars?
Yes, I know. So Phoenix Field of Mars it's fiction and it's time travel. It's actually historical fiction, because even though there are fictional points to the plot, the time period is first century AD, and it is historical. There are historical facts in this book. So I made sure that, because I'm a teacher, I wanted history to be written correctly. Even though later, of course, it changes because it's a time travel book, but I wanted it to be something that, you know, high school students, young adults, and even adults can read, and they learn a lot about it. But the reason why I love Phoenix so much is it is based in first century and around the time of Jesus. And it goes into a lot of, you know, there were a lot of different cultures and faiths at that time, as there are now, but I present everything. I put everything out there in an adventure, action, entertaining format, but I let people kind of draw their own opinions of what they feel about Jesus, because you can't deny how special he is. And I'm not the type of person that I want to write books. I just throw him out there at people. I kind of go about it a different way. I want to meet people where they're at. I don't want to really preach to the choir. I want to be an author that writes books where young adults who are not exposed to the Christian faith or God, they can read the books and go, oh, this Jesus, you know, he's pretty interesting. And that's kind of the basis of Phoenix.
So you're establishing the biblical and, in fact, Christian
Yes.
foundation in book one, and then book two, By the Sword.
Yes. So book two by the sword, it's a continuation of book one. What is really neat about book two is it goes into more of PTSD in our soldiers, because it does, the whole trilogy has special ops soldiers in it. And book two really dives into what our veterans, a lot of our veterans are dealing with. And the reason why I did that is because my family runs the Warrior Bonfire Program, which is
All right,
an
you just earned an
organization.
extra minute. Let's talk about that. We'll go late. I want to hear about that.
So, so my family, they run an organization that takes our Purple Heart veterans skiing, fishing, oh my goodness, hunting. They do pig hunt, they do hog hunts, they do all kinds of stuff all over the nation with our Purple Heart veterans. And if people are not familiar with Purple Heart veterans, these are veterans that have been injured in while they were active service members, and they're dealing with a lot. So my family, who's very Christian, put it together as a way to help these guys. And the most I've done is cook for them. I don't go out and hunt or ski or anything, but it's really cool. That's kind of what inspired me to put soldiers in my book, because I want to raise awareness for what our veterans are going through. So, yeah.
Amazing. I'm gonna put your website up here real quick in case, because we're probably gonna run out of time, folks. There's much more, so if you'll go to jandersbooks.com, you can find out more there. But there is, in fact, a third book. This is, in fact, a trilogy. Tell us about it.
So this one is my young adult series. This is actually published with Static Pen Publishing. Phoenix was published with Black Rose Writing, and I have two separate contracts. This one's through Static Pen Publishing, and it takes place in Houston, Texas, which is really cool. Instead of taking place in Israel or Jerusalem, I decided that this one would take place in Houston, Texas. It does have Native American Indians in it, and that's that book trailer that you played at the beginning of the show, which is really cool. This one has a teenager who was orphaned at a young age. She's the protagonist. And she was, moved around from foster home to foster home. And I'm not going to down all foster homes, because we need a lot more foster parents out there. But in this case, she was in some bad foster homes. So she's got a lot of anger issues. And that's kind of where I got her character from, was from the kiddos that I work with on a daily basis. So she's got a lot of anger issues, and she's got to really juggle, or handle that, learn how to trust people, learn how to work with other people in order to save the world, because it is science fiction. So we have aliens in that one, but there is still the Christian elements in that one as well. I don't want to give anything away. If you've watched or read Richard Matheson and you watched I Am Legend, you'll know kind of what I'm talking about. It's a little bit, that sci-fi element, science fiction, but there is the go back to God and Christianity, and how we need to rely on Him to save us when it's all said and done.
Jackie, the time has really flown by. Can we get back together in the future and let's talk about children in school and behavioral and discipline, and because we grew up in a different world, and I've been kind of hard on you because, well, I'm a coach, but but these children are not raised with two parents like I was. Two parents that were we had a functional family. And so, the same medicine doesn't work for every illness. Okay. So I'm not I'm not in opposition. But at the same time, I'm also very concerned. And I appreciate that you're on the front lines. I'm glad it's you. I'm glad it's one of us. Okay. You're representing us, and we commend you. And I know there must be some very gut-wrenching times, but there's also some very joyful times. And I'd like to talk more about that in the future. Let's do this again. That was fun. I appreciate it. Really.
Sure will. Thank you. I appreciate you having me on here.
All right. Thanks, Jackie. Wow. I didn't know it was going to be that good. I mean, it's a friend of Dale's. What I didn't know what to expect. Anyway, folks, we ran a little bit over. I have some announcements that I'd like to make. I won't make them now. Got to get ready for Michelle Medlock Adams. She'll be here any moment. I'm on my way out. I'll ask 2 questions as I leave that I would like you to ask yourself. Question number 1. What is the boldest thing that you have ever done for Jesus Christ? And the second question is, how long ago was that? The challenge that I've made to myself, and I hope that you'll accept, is to never be satisfied with either answer.